Hey everybody, today's a very special day, so I have to shout out to all the mothers, because the mothers are really extraordinary. Because I always say I've never been shot and I can't give birth, but when a mother gives birth to a child, she takes a bullet for him. So I have to thank all the mothers wherever you are. Anyways, there's something that I want to talk about today, and it's something that has been on my mind for quite some time. I remember an incident whereby I was in a taxi at the back, the back seat, and a female was going to enter, right? I believe it was raining, and the gentleman wanted me to exit the car to let in the female because he didn't want to sit beside a man. Right? False masculinity. This is what is crippling our country today. This level of false masculinity in our country, that we are afraid to show brotherly affections for each other. The Bible always talks about brotherly love. It says you should love each other with all the intensity of your heart. But we can't even show limit, the minute, the simplest affections for each other. And that's why we have so many problems in society today, because there's a lack of brotherly love. It's a time of false masculinity, that men aren't supposed to show affections for each other. Some of the criminals that we have in society today, they are the result of a lack of affection. These boys grew up, never knew the tenderness, they never knew the care of having a next heart beating next to them, that intimacy with another human being that we need in this world. I remember I was at a point where it was hard for me to show affection because I thought it was feminine, and that's a lie. It takes a real man. It takes a real man to show his heart. It's a time of hardened hearts. We have to learn to open our hearts, especially as men. This false masculinity needs to stop, because it's no masculine. Remember, Jesus was the greatest man, and look at Jesus himself, how he was a gentleman. He showed respect, love, kindness, and tenderness. People, he is the icon of what a man's supposed to be. And you see good examples of men in the Bible. These are real strong men that stood by their family. And a lot of us, even because we had problems growing up, which is understandable, there's a scar in our heart towards people. And I'm telling you that Jesus is here to heal all wounds, to heal all scars. You have to let him in. Throw away this false masculinity that certain things are girly. I know of incidents where friends are killing friends. People have known each other all their life, and there's one instance where one person offends the other. The person takes their life away because what? Quote unquote, you diss me. Man, I rate what you do. What about love? What about forgiveness? What about the tenderness of being a man? A man supposed to be tender and loving. A man supposed to protect his family, protect his wife. We are supposed to be leaders, but we have only been following the trend of what not to be as a man. You understand? And there's a thing in this male species that women are supposed to, we have grown to treat women bad. A woman is a precious gift to this world, taken from the very rib of the first man on earth. It's precious. Do not treat a woman disrespectfully, because that would make you a man. Learn the tenderness and care. Treat a woman with affection and love. That's supposed to be the heart of a true man. True man. You know, it's not about being rough and tough. It's about being tender and kind-hearted. It's about being forgiving. Those are the true characteristics of a real man. If Jesus is forgiving and Jesus is loving and Jesus is the icon figure of all men. If we are not like Jesus, we are fallen far from the branch. We are fallen far from the main tree. That's what I mean. We have fallen far from the main tree and we have segregated ourselves from the branch of love, from the real man. Jesus is the epitome of masculinity. So when we sometimes don't want to brush shoulder with the next man, that's false masculinity. Jesus called his disciples brother. We should call every man on this earth brother. When he offends you, say, brother, why did you offend me? When he hurt you, we say, brother, why did you hurt me? We need to learn tenderness and care as men. We need to wipe away this lie of false masculinity. I remember an instant where this man was shot and we were bringing him to the hospital, and that man, he was a little bit rough on the edges, and in that moment of his death, he was a tender, kind-hearted. He was so like a little child. He was like a little child. And you see him vulnerable. And I'm telling all the men that you can also be vulnerable. That's the true essence of being a man. It's being vulnerable and showing the true nature of your heart. You know, it's false masculinity that's clouding the eyes of men these days, and we need to wipe away this from our hearts. Be a man. If you want to be a man, then don't let anyone of this world be an example. Let Jesus be an example to you, and look at Jesus, and you will see what a man ought to be. And if you are not like Jesus, you are not a man. And if you think you are, wake up. Jesus is the epitome, is the image of the masculine figure. So I'm urging you all, learn the tenderness and care and brotherly love that Jesus has. Wipe away false masculinity and embrace true masculinity, a true man that loves and is willing to take care of his responsibilities and is willing to be loyal and faithful and strong and powerful and endearing and persevering to the end with those he loves. That's the true essence of a man, not the one that walks around swagging. That's not a man. Jesus is the epitome of a man. Thank you all. Have a nice day. Goodbye. And remember, be a man about it.